Hey there, it's Desiree here, the Sassy Mama CEO of Mama Owned Business. I am doing this video actually for my team, and I think I will end up uploading it to the YouTube channel for those of you who need a little help. This video is an explainer of how to schedule an email inside of GetResponse. So if you are a GetResponse user or you're thinking about using GetResponse as your email marketing service provider, then this video might be a little handy for you. This is actually going to be the first one in a series because GetResponse, they lack a little bit of their automation when it comes to one-off email broadcasts. You can't tag people, but you can search for people. So I'm going to explain all of that in the next video. But in this video, I am going to walk you through step-by-step of how to put an email together and how to schedule it out. So it's a pretty basic step that you will need to know how to do if you're using GetResponse. And you can hear the plane flying over, and that's just an added bonus. Okay, so let me switch gears here. And I'm going to do a screen share. And you should see my GetResponse screen in just a moment. Okay, here we go. So this is the screen that you see as soon as you log into GetResponse. This is, this is actually the screen that you see right before you log into GetResponse. So if you go to getresponse.com, this is what you're going to see. So let me just move my screen. Okay, and then let me make sure you guys are seeing what I see. Don't you love my singing? Okay, so you can see what I see. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to log in, and it takes you to this login screen. And you can't see my password, so don't try and log in as me. Takes a second. Okay, so this is your dashboard. This is going to be what happens. You come to this place every time you log in, and it has some simple things up here, some common tasks. Add contact. This is to manually add. Create a web form. That's if you are putting a form. You can either have it hosted on GetResponse or you can have it hosted on your website. Create newsletter. That's where we're going to work in, and then create landing page. If you have some sales pages or some webinar sign-up pages you want to create, you can actually do that right inside of the dashboard for GetResponse. Now, right over here on this side right here, you'll see your current campaign. And if you click this little down arrow, this gives you all of the campaigns that are built in to my system. Now, yours is going to look something probably completely different. And when you first open up your account, you won't see anything. But for now, this is my list. And when I'm sending out one-off newsletters, 99% of the time, I need to be working in the main list campaign because these are going to everybody. But if you have segmented lists, if you only want to send to people who purchased something or people who participated in a certain event, then you can definitely select that campaign. But it will give you another spot later as you're scheduling to make sure that you're still sending to the right campaign. Okay, so that's the current campaign, and I usually work in the main one where everybody goes to. Okay, so the first step we are going to do is create newsletter. This is where we write all of our email blasts. And then you want to use new email creator and then the message name. And what I like to do is the message name is the date of the email that I'm actually sending out. So this one, we're sending out in 2015 in February on the 11th. And then I give it a title that makes sense to me. So this is a JV email for a joint venture webinar that I'm promoting. So it's going to be JV Gen F webinar TCA, because that's the name of the program that we're promoting. And then in parentheses, I just like to put the date of the webinar itself. That way I've got all the information that I need here. Now, most of the time, in your dropout, your drop downs, you're only going to see the first portion just because of the way that GetResponse's menus drop down. But this does come in handy if you're trying to figure out which email you sent out for what. And the message name is not seen by subscribers. This is only internal use. Okay, so the next is going to be the subject, and this is what is going to be seen. So I actually pre-wrote the subject line over on my email here. So let me go back over and let me go into the correct folder. Okay. So you can see that I pre-wrote several of the emails here. So I'm just going to open up the first one. And I gave it the subject line already, just because when I'm creating my emails, I like to make notes about all the special links and dates, so it's all in one spot. So I'm going to go copy the subject line, and I'm going to go paste it into GetResponse right there. So you can see the subject, and that's what they're going to see. And you can personalize it if you wanted to add in their first name, or if there was something you wanted to add in, like it's your birthday and it's February 4th. You can add in some of that stuff, but most of the time it's just going to be a blanket subject line. Okay, the from line is Desiree Wolfe, and it's always going to be an admin or an info or more of a generic type inbox. That way people aren't getting spammed by your actual email address. So I always choose admin. I'm not going to share this to Twitter or Facebook because I actually have a separate campaign that I'm going to be scheduling through my social media management tool. So I'm not going to worry about doing that. I do like my Google Analytics because I set that up in the account so it tracks clicks. Then we're going to click Next Step. And this is going to take us to the design page. And there's a bunch of templates that are pre-created, but I went ahead and created my own template. So I click My Templates over here on the left-hand side, and I'm going to choose Email Newsletter Template. And then this is the email template with the header that I pre-designed. And then it's just got it's got a body that's already put in there, but we're just going to copy and paste that over it. So then we go back over here to our email, and we're just going to copy the whole body. We're not going to copy the signature line because I have a separate field for that. So copy the email, bring it back over into GetResponse, and you're going to paste that into the text block. Now you'll see it doesn't bring over any of the formatting, so we just need to go in and clean it up. If you need to add in new text blocks, all of the blocks are over here. So if you have an image you need to add in, if you have an image and text, this is great if you're sending out an email to promote a blog or maybe a product that you need to include the picture for. Okay, so let's just go through and we're going to clean some of this up. This is going to be, let's highlight the #1 secret for increasing your sales. And then we're going to highlight February 18. Okay. And now here's the registration link where it says click here to register. You'll see that it's not a hyperlink. So we need to tell GetResponse to create a hyperlink. So we just copy what's on there and click the title and just give it, so this is the TCA webinar reg. Okay, and then you can see now that it's hyperlinked. So on this, you can also hyperlink certain words. You don't have to do just the an URL. So this is TCA webinar reg. Okay, so then we have the next one. And then these are the bullet points of what's going to happen on the webinar. So let's just clean this up a little bit. And we're going to give these some bullet points. And then we're going to, let's delete that space. Let's bold this so people know, oops, so people know what they're getting. And then let's highlight some keywords. Increase your profit. Less than 5 minutes of work. These are things that people look for, that they want help with. Let's do simple mindset shift. People like that kind of stuff. And then let's do add an additional 20%. And then let's go ahead and leave the rest of them the way they are. Let's clean up that space. Let's add in another space here. And then we need to create a hyperlink for this. Oops, here's my text box. So this part gets a little cumbersome because you have to go in and clean up all the formatting as well as add in the hyperlinks. But there's no other way around it at this point. So let's copy this one and see if it'll let us paste. Nope, we still have to assign it the link. Okay, and then a cool thing that we can also do if we wanted to is we can add in a button right here. So this is similar to like a buy now button. Let's call it register now. Same thing as when we did the URLs for the links. You have to enter the URL and the name. And then if you want, we can go ahead and change it to your branding or your preferred button color. So we'll make that pink since that one's mine. And then we're going to go, so now we've got the signature line. So now we're going to go back over here and we're going to add in the PS. I almost always have a PS in my emails because people's eyes are automatically drawn to both the first paragraph and the very bottom of the page if they get that far. Oops, so let's clean that up. Yay. Webinar reg. Okay. So then at the very bottom, we also have some share buttons. So when people get the email, they'll see that they can, you know, share it on Facebook or tweet it and all that kind of stuff. And then if you need to add in anything, like you need to do a PayPal button. So if we were doing like a buy now, or if we were doing a product special, we could enter a PayPal button or we can create our own. My snippets, these are things that you just did. So this just kind of tells you the areas that you did, and you can drag them in if you need to repeat them. History is just what it is. It's the history of your revisions. And that's about it. If you wanted to add in as horizontal ruler, you could do that, but let's delete that because that junks it up. Okay, so this is what our email looks like. And if you go over here to what looks like the iPhone, this is a preview of what it looks like on your mobile device. And if you click this one, then you see what it looks like this way. It just gives you an idea of what people will see as they open up the email on their mobile device. And it fits really nicely into the screen. So that's why I chose this size of email. Now, I always like to do a test message whenever I'm creating any kind of email messages. So you just go up here and you click test message, and then you choose the email address that you want it sent to. I send it to the admin email box, and then it'll now send a copy to that email address that you have. Oops, and I think I've already got it open here. See, and you can see it popped up on the screen. So this is what it's going to look like in their inbox. And then I just make sure that I test the links to make sure that each one of them go to the correct registration page. So we're going to leave that. Okay, so if it all looks good, you just exit out of that. So then now you're back in the GetResponse screen. You want to hit next step. This is going to bring you to the scheduling page where you actually select who it goes to. And these are all of the campaigns that I have created in my GetResponse account. I want this to go to everybody because it's the first time that I'm inviting anyone to this. If there was a list that was perhaps already involved in receiving a bunch of autoresponders, then you wouldn't want to put them in there. You would want to exclude that one, or if maybe you have people who just purchased something, you would want to leave them out. But for this one, I want to invite everybody because I don't believe I have any autoresponders running at this time. You can do a saved search. And then so if we were excluding people, what would happen is, let's say we didn't want the main list. you go to exclude and you would do main list. So you want to make sure that this is everybody you include and then this is everybody you're excluding. But we want everybody. So we are going to close that. Okay, so then it shows that we have 5,134 people getting ready to get this email. And then we get funny text messages from our husband in the middle of videos. That's what that was. Okay. Then we click next step. Now this is the actual page we are going to schedule it on. And if you want to see what it looks like, just to make sure, here you go. Here's your links. You can hover over them. You can see that, yes, the URLs have been assigned, so they're clickable. This is pretty much the same thing that you see in the email preview, just one last look. And then this is where you're going to schedule. I just kind of glance over everything else, make sure your subject line is correct. You have a low spam score. You can do an inbox preview right here. And this tells you what it's going to look like in each of the various email services. However, it usually takes, this says wait for 2 minutes. This usually takes a lot longer than 2 minutes. So because I did the email test and I did the preview, I'm pretty sure that it's going to look halfway decent in 99% of the email providers. So I'm not overly worried about it. So then you can see it's going to 5,134 recipients in 20 different campaigns. And then you want to hit schedule. You don't want to hit send because that would send it right now. So let's go ahead and schedule this. And we can see that, remember right up here, the message summary tells us 2015-02 on the 11th. So that's when we're going to schedule this for. I like to schedule my emails at 5 a.m. because I have a lot of East Coasters and they can, check their email at a decent hour. Time travel is for when I'm using very time sensitive stuff and they only have until midnight or a certain time that they need to buy or sign up. I would hit time travel and then it actually delivers the local time. So if we were to do 5 a.m., this would give them 5 a.m. everywhere. So you can actually leave this on for a campaign like this. That's totally fine. That way everybody in the world gets it at 5 a.m. on the 11th. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to time travel it. It's one cool little feature that I really liked in GetResponse. If I had something that, was closing at 12 p.m. Pacific time, I probably wouldn't do this because I don't want them to get it at 12 p.m. their time, which is, probably hours behind, or excuse me, hours ahead of us. So they would think that it would close and it would really only be 9 p.m. or vice versa. It would really be 3 a.m., excuse me. Okay, so then we hit send, and then it says the message will send according to our settings. We can go view it online, and then this is what it's going to look like. And that's it. The email has been scheduled. To double check it, you can go to my newsletters, and there it's sitting right there in the main list and the email right there. And then you can either test it, you can even edit it if you realized you needed to include something. You can do a preview or you can even cancel it all right here. And then this is where all the previous emails have sent. If you have emails that you no longer want people to see, you can actually close them or you can archive it and people won't see it. I don't do that very often just because most of my emails, I want to make sure that people have plenty of access to it. So that's it. That is how to create a new email and schedule it to your list in GetResponse. The next video that I'm going to go through, we are going to talk about how to segment certain emails so only people who have or have not done a certain action get them. So that way people aren't getting a ton of emails if they've taken some action. So that's it. This is back to the dashboard, and that is how you do GetResponse email. If you have any questions, please post below let me go back over to my Hangout here. Let's see, cameraman. All right. Okay, so here I am. So that's it for step one. I know it sounds like it's kind of long and my video was a little long, but that's really how you do it. And you do it enough that you get used to it, and it goes pretty quickly. Hopefully they will be automating some more things with GetResponse soon, but other than that, I love them and they've been a great service company. So stay tuned. If you are watching this and you are not on my team, then please make sure you head over to mamaownedbusiness.com and you can sign up to receive 10 rebellious strategies for growing your business online. All right, thanks so much. See you later.